First contact. The SETI Institute's radio telescope array picked up the signal first, an intricate pattern pulsing from the direction of Alpha Centauri. Dr. Lena Morrow, astrophysicist and lead researcher, immediately recognized its significance. "This isn't a natural phenomenon," she said, her voice trembling with excitement. "We're witnessing humanity's first contact with an extraterrestrial civilization." Within hours, news of the discovery had spread worldwide. The United Nations convened an emergency session, while the International Space Agency dispatched probes to intercept the approaching alien vessel. As humanity held its collective breath, a sleek silver craft entered the solar system, elegantly sliding into orbit around Earth. The ship's occupants called themselves the Zotharians, a spacefaring species from a world orbiting Proxima Centauri. Technologically advanced and seemingly benevolent, they had come in peace, eager to learn about the civilization that had captured their attention with its radio transmissions. Dr. Moreau found herself at the forefront of Earth's hastily assembled diplomatic team, her expertise in interstellar communication proving invaluable. As she stood before the airlock of the specially constructed meeting facility, she couldn't help but marvel at the momentous nature of the occasion. Taking a deep breath, she stepped forward to greet the alien visitors, knowing that this moment would change the course of human history. The Zotharian delegation emerged, their lithe, iridescent forms moving with an otherworldly grace. Ambassador Zixon, their leader, extended a slender appendage in what Dr. Morrow hoped was a gesture of goodwill. "Greetings, people of Earth," the alien said, its melodic voice translated through a device's floating an elegant sequence of spiraling lights. While Dr. Moreau wasn't well versed in Zotharian body language, she sensed a hint of reservation, perhaps even unease, in the alien's movements. What could be troubling our visitors, she wondered, at a moment that should be filled with the joy of discovery. And so began a dance of diplomacy and scientific exchange, as humanity and the Zotharians sought to forge a bond across the vast gulf of space. Dr. Moreau and her colleagues found themselves working tirelessly to bridge the gap between two vastly different cultures, hoping to lay the foundation for a peaceful and mutually beneficial relationship. Yet even as they marveled at the Zotharians' advanced technology and vast knowledge of the cosmos, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, that beneath the veneer of cordial curiosity, a deeper tension was brewing. Little did they know that the key to understanding this unease lay not in the stars above, but in the very soil beneath their feet. As the two species continued to interact, a startling revelation was about to emerge, one that would challenge everything the Zotharians thought they knew about the nature of life itself. Revelations. Dr. Moreau's heart raced as she hurried towards the xenobiology lab that had been humming with activity around the clock since the Zotharians' arrival. She clutched a tablet filled with new data from the latest round of biological scans, the results so staggering she could scarcely believe them. She burst into the lab and called out, "Dr. Singh, you need to see this." Dr. Arjun Singh, the facility's lead xenobiologist, looked up from his workstation, his brow furrowed with concern. "What is it, Lena?" Dr. Moreau uploaded her findings to the lab's central display. The Zotharians. Their cellular structure, it's incredibly fragile. They have virtually no resistance to ionizing radiation. Dr. Singh's eyes widened as he studied the data. "My God, you're right. The background radiation levels we consider normal would be fatal to them within hours." The implications hit them like a shockwave. Earth, the cradle of human civilization, was effectively a death trap for the technologically advanced aliens. The Zotharians had evolved in the sheltered confines of their homeworld, shielded from the high-energy cosmic rays that constantly bombarded Earth. Humanity, by contrast, had spent eons adapting to this invisible onslaught, their cells developing remarkable mechanisms to repair radiation-induced damage. Dr. Moreau and Dr. Singh looked at each other, a newfound understanding dawning. "That's why they seemed so uneasy," Dr. Moreau murmured. "They weren't just studying us. They were trying to understand how we could possibly survive in an environment that would kill them. Dr. Singh nodded solemnly. We need to inform the ambassador immediately. This changes everything. As the two scientists hurried to share their findings with the diplomatic team, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and pride. Humanity, for all its flaws and foibles, had achieved something remarkable, thriving on a world that the most advanced species they'd ever encountered would find utterly inhospitable. The very traits that had allowed their ancestors to endure and adapt in the face of adversity had now become their greatest strength in the eyes of the cosmos. Yet even as they marveled at this revelation, a nagging question tugged at the back of their minds. How would the Zotharians react to this news? Would they see humanity as a curiosity, a marvel of resilience and adaptability? Or would they view them as something else entirely, a potential threat, a species whose very existence defied the laws of nature as they understood them? As they stepped into the briefing room, the weight of this question hung heavy in the air. The future of human-Zotharian relations, and perhaps the fate of both species, hinged on the next few moments. Cultural exchange. The revelation that Earth's natural radiation levels were deadly to the Zotharians sent shockwaves through both the human and alien delegations. For the Zotharians, it was a humbling realization that the species they had come to study was, in fact, far more resilient and adaptable than they had ever imagined. For the humans, it was a source of both pride and trepidation as they grappled with the implications of their unique position in the cosmic order. Despite the challenge posed by their vastly different environmental needs, both sides recognized the importance of fostering understanding and cooperation between their two species. The Zotharians, ever curious and eager to learn, proposed a series of cultural exchange programs, hoping to gain insight into the remarkable primates who had conquered radiation. Dr. Moreau found herself at the forefront of these efforts, working closely with Ambassador Zixon to organize a series of virtual tours and educational seminars. Through the wonders of advanced Zotharian holographic technology, humans were able to visit the alien homeworld, marveling at its towering crystalline cities and vast, bioluminescent forests. In turn, the Zotharians delved deep into the annals of human history, art, and science, their agile minds absorbing knowledge at a prodigious rate. As the weeks passed, a tentative rapport began to develop between the two species. Zotharian engineers shared their advanced propulsion and energy production technologies, while human experts in fields ranging from medicine to environmental science offered insights gleaned from centuries of grappling with the challenges of life on Earth. During one particularly memorable exchange, Ambassador Zixon revealed that the Zotharians were part of a vast network of spacefaring species, a federation of sorts that had uplifted several other races to join them among the stars. We believe in the power of cooperation and the sharing of knowledge, the alien explained, its melodic voice filled with conviction. The universe is a vast and wondrous place, and we are stronger when we face its challenges together. Dr. Moreau couldn't help but feel a swell of excitement at the prospect of humanity one day joining this interstellar community. Yet even as she marveled at the possibilities, she sensed an undercurrent of unease among some of the Zotharian delegates. In hushed tones, they spoke of the potential dangers of a species like humanity, one that had not only survived but thrived in the face of cosmic radiation. What if, they wondered, the humans turned their remarkable resilience towards less peaceful ends? As these whispers reached Dr. Moreau's ears, she began to realize that the cultural exchange was more than just a way for the two species to learn about each other. It was also a subtle test, a way for the Zotharians to gauge whether humanity was ready, or indeed safe, to take its place among the stars. With each passing day, the stakes grew higher, and the need for understanding more urgent. Dr. Moreau redoubled her efforts to bridge the gap between the two species, hoping to prove that humanity's greatest strength lay not in its capacity for destruction, but in its boundless curiosity, ingenuity, and resilience. The future of both their worlds, she knew, depended on it. Rising tensions. As the cultural exchange program between humans and Zotharians continued, a troubling development began to unfold behind the scenes. A faction within the Zotharian leadership, led by the hawkish Admiral Zarn, had grown increasingly wary of humanity's potential as a spacefaring species. The Admiral and his supporters argued that a race capable of thriving in the face of deadly cosmic radiation posed a unique and unpredictable threat to the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. "We cannot allow these primates to spread unchecked," Admiral Zarn declared during a closed-door meeting of the Zotharian High Council. "Their very biology makes them a danger to our way of life. We must act now, before it is too late." The Admiral's proposed solution was as drastic as it was controversial: a complete quarantine of Earth, enforced by a fleet of Zotharian warships. Under this plan, humanity would be confined to its homeworld indefinitely, its dreams of interstellar exploration and expansion permanently dashed. When word of this proposal reached the human delegation, it sparked a firestorm of outrage and indignation. Dr. Moreau, now serving as the chief human liaison to the Zotharians, found herself at the center of the maelstrom. In impassioned speeches before the United Nations and in direct communications with Ambassador Zixon, she denounced the quarantine plan as a grotesque violation of human sovereignty and free will. "We will not be caged like animals," she declared, her voice trembling with righteous fury. "We have every right to explore the universe, to seek out new frontiers and new challenges. To deny us this is to deny our very humanity." As tensions mounted, some human factions began to call for a preemptive strike against the Zotharians. They argued that humanity could not afford to wait until the technologically superior aliens made their move. Better to strike first, they'd reasoned, and assert human dominance while they still had the chance. Dr. Moreau and her allies fought desperately to stave off this rising tide of belligerence, arguing that violence would only beget more violence. They knew that humanity, for all its strengths, was no match for the advanced weaponry and space-based infrastructure of the Zotharians. A war between the two species would be a catastrophe of unimaginable proportions. Yet even as they worked tirelessly to preserve the fragile peace, Dr. Moreau couldn't shake the feeling that they were racing against time. With each passing day, the voices of reason grew quieter, drowned out by the drumbeat of fear and nationalist fervor. The once promising partnership between humans and Zotharians teetered on the brink of collapse, threatened by the very differences that had once seemed like a source of strength. As she stood on the observation deck of the orbital facility where the negotiations were taking place, Dr. Moreau gazed out at the blue-green curve of the Earth below. Somewhere down there, she knew, were the people she had sworn to protect, the generations yet unborn who deserved a chance to reach for the stars. She could only hope that somehow, against all odds, the better angels of their nature would prevail. But even as she clung to that slender thread of hope, Dr. Moreau knew that the worst was yet to come. The fate of two species, and perhaps the future of the galaxy itself, hung in the balance. And the clock was ticking. Brink of war. The simmering tensions between humanity and the Zotharians erupted into full-blown crisis when a Zotharian extremist group known as the Purifiers launched a devastating bio-attack on Earth. The engineered plague, designed to exploit human vulnerabilities while leaving Zotharian biology unscathed, began to spread like wildfire through the world's major cities. Millions fell ill as hospitals and emergency services were overwhelmed, pushing human civilization to the brink of collapse. Dr. Moreau and her team raced against time to unravel the secrets of the Purifier's bioweapon, working around the clock in hastily assembled containment labs. As the death toll mounted and panic gripped the planet, the pressure to find a cure became overwhelming. Meanwhile, in orbit high above Earth's surface, human and Zotharian fleets faced off in a tense standoff. The human crewed ships, though vastly outmatched technologically, were fueled by desperation and rage. Their commanders, under immense political pressure to respond to the Purifier's attack, had orders to open fire at first provocation. In this darkest hour, however, humanity found allies from an unlikely source, a group of Zotharian double agents who had long opposed their species' imperialistic ambitions. Led by none other than Ambassador Zixon himself, these brave dissidents risked everything to smuggle vital intelligence and resources to Dr. Moreau's team. Our species' future depends on coexistence, not subjugation, Zixon declared in secret transmissions. Humanity destruction would be a catastrophic loss for the cosmos, extinguishing a light of creativity, ingenuity, and raw determination that our galaxy needs now more than ever. With Zixon's help and drawing on the collective knowledge and resourcefulness of Earth's greatest minds, Dr. Moreau and her colleague achieved the impossible, an antidote to the Purifier's doomsday virus. As the lifespan treatments were rushed to the areas of greatest need, the tide slowly began to turn. But even as the immediate crisis receded, the underlying and fundamental challenge remained: the relationship between two species dancing on the knife edge between cooperation and catastrophe. For now, open war had been narrowly averted, but what of tomorrow and the day after that? Could a genuine lasting peace and partnership be forged from the crucible of such mistrust and existential fear? On the observation deck of the orbital station, Dr. Moreau stood side by side with Ambassador Zixon, gazing down at the wounded but unbroken world below. They had bought their people a second chance, but they both knew it would either be a new beginning or merely a temporary respite before the next still greater brink. Everything hung in the balance as the Zotharian fleet commander hailed their human counterpart to begin the most fateful negotiations in the history of both their kinds. The whole galaxy seemed to be holding its breath. Resolution. In the wake of the narrowly averted war and the Purifier's devastating bioattack, the leaders of humanity and the Zotharian Federation came together for a historic summit. The fate of both species, and potentially the future of the galaxy itself, hinged on the outcome of these delicate negotiations. Dr. Moreau and Ambassador Zixon played a crucial role in the proceedings, leveraging their hard-won trust and mutual respect to bridge the gap between the two sides. They knew that the only way forward was through compromise and cooperation, but the wounds of the recent conflict were still raw, and the specter of fear and mistrust loomed large. As the talks stretched on for days and then weeks, progress seemed frustratingly slow. Both sides had legitimate grievances and concerns, and finding common ground often felt like an insurmountable task. But gradually, through patient discourse and a shared commitment to peaceful coexistence, a framework for a lasting agreement began to take shape. At the heart of the deal was a bold proposal put forward by Dr. Moreau and Ambassador Zixon. Rather than seeking to confine or control humanity's expansion into the cosmos, the Zotharians would instead work with their human counterparts to identify and colonize worlds that were uniquely suited to human biology, high-radiation environments that the Zotharians themselves could never inhabit. In this way, Dr. Moreau explained to the assembled delegates, humanity can fulfill its destiny as an interstellar species without posing a threat to the Zotharian way of life. We will be partners in exploration and discovery, each playing to our strengths and respecting our differences. The proposal met with initial skepticism from hardliners on both sides, but as the details were fleshed out and the benefits became clear, support began to grow. By focusing human expansion on these specialized worlds, the Zotharians could continue to thrive in the more hospitable regions of the galaxy, while humanity gained access to virtually unlimited room for growth and development. Over time, this collaboration blossomed into something more than just a practical arrangement. As human and Zotharian scientists and explorers began to work side by side, a genuine sense of camaraderie and shared purpose began to emerge. The unique strengths of each species, humanity's resilience and adaptability, the Zotharians' advanced technology and vast knowledge, combined to unlock new frontiers of discovery and achievement. In the end, a final agreement was reached, one that enshrined the principles of peaceful coexistence, mutual respect, and ongoing cooperation. The document was signed in a solemn ceremony aboard the orbital station, with Dr. Moreau and Ambassador Zixon standing side by side as the representatives of their respective species. As the ink dried on the historic accord, a palpable sense of relief and hope swept through both delegations. The road ahead would not be easy, and there would undoubtedly be challenges and setbacks along the way. But for the first time in the tumultuous history of human-Zotherian relations, there was a genuine sense that a brighter future was within reach. In the years that followed, the alliance between humanity and the Zotherians flourished, bringing untold benefits to both species. Human scientists and engineers, working in close collaboration with their Zotherian counterparts, made groundbreaking advances in fields ranging from medicine to quantum computing. Zotherian scholars, in turn, gained new insights into the remarkable resilience and adaptability of the human spirit. As human colonies began to spring up on the high-radiation worlds that had once been considered uninhabitable, a new era of exploration and discovery dawned. These intrepid pioneers, armed with advanced Zotherian technology and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, pushed the boundaries of what was possible, forging new frontiers and redefining the limits of human potential. Back on Earth, Dr. Moreau and Ambassador Zixon became living symbols of the transformative power of diplomacy and understanding. Their tireless efforts to foster cooperation and bridge the gaps between their two species inspired generations of humans and Zotherians alike. As they looked out over the thriving, interconnected galaxy that their partnership had helped to create, Dr. Moreau and Ambassador Zixon could not help but feel a sense of profound gratitude and awe. They had started as two strangers from different worlds, separated by a vast gulf of space and culture. But through their shared commitment to peace, progress, and the betterment of all sentient life, they had forged an unbreakable bond, one that would shape the course of the universe for generations to come. In the end, the story of humanity and the Zotherians served as a powerful reminder of the incredible potential that lies within the diversity of life itself. It was a testament to the idea that our differences, far from being a source of division and conflict, can in fact be our greatest strength, the key to unlocking new frontiers of discovery, growth, and prosperity. As the two species continued to explore the cosmos together, bound by a shared sense of purpose and a deep respect for one another, they knew that they were embarking on the greatest adventure of all. The ongoing story of life itself, in all its infinite variety and wonder. And with each new world they uncovered, each new mystery they unraveled, they moved closer to a future in which all beings, regardless of their origins or abilities, could thrive and flourish among the stars.